Hey, how you doing? Hey, Storm, Invictus, what's up? How you guys? Hey, New England. Saw you've been hammering out some audits down there. Who, Storm? Me? My email address is on my About page. Hey, Dusted. Hey, Aiden. DMC, what's up, man? Lady Bird. Hey, Fair Shake. Snowing here. So how's everybody doing? At least some people got the notification. Yeah, I know, Granite, the S word. Yep, it's snowing. It's actually more like sleeting, you know, like snow and rain and all that together. We've been pretty fortunate. When I was a kid, this time of year, we'd be covered in snow. Not like it used to be. I just call her Granite. Well, like I said, at least a few people got the notifications. That or it's just a slow day. Trying to blow dry your hair? Hey, Victor. Hey, Eric. France, huh? Wow. What brings you here? Just out of curiosity. Coffee's hot. Hey, Freedom News. I was actually going to go live like 15 minutes ago, and I was setting up, and I pulled my microphone out and knocked over my cup of coffee, and I just poured it. And I mean, you guys see the size of my cup, you know. It's not small. There's freaking coffee everywhere, so I had to clean it all up. You know, that's just, you know, coffee abuse. So I had to go make a whole new cup. Oh, hey, Marita. Yeah, wildfires out there? Yeah. I was reading about that a little bit earlier. Yeah, I know. Definitely not a good start. Freedom News, they're still high, but not as high. I'm starting to get it down. They started me on the insulin and all that, so it's been in the mid 200s to low 200s, which I know isn't good, but it's better than, you know, 558. Hey, Kim. Oh, wow, Marita. Wow. Yeah, those things are They do a lot of damage. Trying to pick which screen I want to look at, so don't mind me. This just upgraded again, the OBS, and it's still, the chat isn't working right in it. It lost the setting somehow. Hey, Paul. So I gotta go back and revamp that, but yeah, I've been, just, you guys know, I've been in and out of streams and talking to people and trying to get all this crap done with. Hey, Skyhawk. She's alright. But trying to get all the drama gone, and figured I'd pick a topic, you know. An important topic that I'm curious what people think, you know. Oh, that's good, Erica. Well, we always appreciate the support. But, you know, most of you guys are probably familiar with, you know, the title, the Martinez versus Fuerte 1976 ruling. So I'm just curious what people think. You know, me, I'm close to the Canadian border, and we don't have to deal with that up here. There is no inland checkpoints here. It's all down on the Mexican border. I mean, the ruling literally affects the Mexican border zone, but there are, you know, at least by me, I'm by Niagara Falls, about an hour and a half away. Hey, Tay. Kind of a small stream today, I guess. Oh, well. Yeah, you're right, Marita. I mean, the thing is, it's never going to get repealed unless people actively seek to have it repealed. You know, I noticed there's no real petitions. There's not a lot of stuff going on to have it removed. Yeah, Tay, oh well. If that's what they want, then I guess I'm not the stream for them. Yeah, I think everybody's mother told them that, Invictus. Hey, Tulare, what's up, man? Yeah, I don't either, Ladybird. It makes no sense. I mean, if you actually read the case law on it, it's all based on a guy who was trying to break the law. So that's where the ruling came from. You know, he was trying to smuggle two illegals, and his defense was that his Fourth Amendment rights were violated. That was his defense. And the court ruled that it wasn't a violation of his rights to search his car without permission and find the illegals. So that's where that all came from. You're right, Marita. That's exactly what it'll require. Well, Eric, that's the big debate, is whether or not it is indeed unconstitutional. The way it works is when you go through the inland border checkpoint, they stop you. They say, "Are you an American citizen?" Now, you have two options. You can answer or you cannot answer. If you choose not to answer, they consider that to be interfering with the line of duty. You're interfering. It's an interference, so they consider that to be you're breaking the law. That gives them probable cause to search your vehicle. Now, the whole premise of that is you also have your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, to not incriminate yourself. So that's where the big contradiction comes into play, is based on whether or not your Fifth Amendment right is being violated by them forcing you to answer. And by not answering, are they violating your Fourth Amendment right? So that's where it gets real interesting. So I'm curious to know what everybody thinks. I mean, Tularia, he's in California. Tay's in Texas. We got people from all over. So I'm curious to know. We even got people from France. So I'm curious to know, what do you guys feel should be done about it, if you think anything should be done at all? Hey James, hey DA. Yeah, I know, man. Personally, I agree with James Barn. Yeah, see, that's where the catch is, Eric. They cannot force you to answer when you're on American soil. And if you are indeed an American citizen, you have your constitutional rights. Yeah, Skyhawk, it's like that here. It's snowing. Taylin, we're talking about the inland border checkpoints and the Martinez versus Fuerte ruling. I've talked to some people, like I posted a video from some of News Now Houston subscribers, and they have to go through the inland checkpoint every single day. And it's like, these people, the agents should recognize them by now. Even they said this. I talked to them about this. They said the agents should recognize them by now. They go through it daily. Now imagine having to go through that every single solitary day. And the guy even though he gave them a hard time, hey Mike, he gave them a hard time on purpose and then finally answered them. And in doing so, they allowed him to pass, even though he gave them a hard time. So it's kind of like, why aren't they doing their job? Why didn't they make sure he wasn't transporting drugs or something, He gave him a hard time. You would think that would be reason enough to search him. They do it to other people. So it's one of those things where and they waste so much money on it. If you look at the numbers, minimum $500 million a year minimum is spent on inland border checkpoints. $500 million. Can you imagine what good that could do on the actual border? Hey Steve, same as I did last night when I talked to you, man, but it is what it is. Well, yeah, the real purpose of this checkpoints is for them to gather information on you. You know, they record everything. You know, they've got auto plate readers. They already know who you are when you pull up. So, you know, it's so frustrating. I mean, when I talk to the guy that goes through it daily, I felt so sorry for him. Because he says they hassle him almost every time he goes through. Even when he does roll the window down and say yes because he just wants to get home for dinner, they still give him a hard time. Yeah, Freedom News. See, there was a thing. The government wanted a study done. So the Government Accountability Office was charged with doing an in-depth study of the inland border checkpoints, the validity of them, the productivity of them, and they ruled, or well, not ruled, but they wrote. There's an official document they wrote where they state that inland border checkpoints should be dismantled, that they're not nearly productive enough. They catch, like they took the total number of illegal immigrants and drugs and all that are found every year, and then they figured out the percentage found at the actual border versus the inland border checkpoints. And the inland border checkpoints found less than 5% of all illegals and less than 3% of all contraband found by the Mexican Border Patrol. By Border Patrol agents in general. Less than 3%. Hey, Don. So you think about that. Less than 3% of all the contraband found at the Mexican border zone was found at the inland checkpoints. The rest was all found on the actual border. Which makes sense. So take that $500 million and all those Border Patrol agents and all those drug sniffing dogs and all those x-ray machines, take all that down to the actual border. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, they keep talking about building a wall, building a wall. This is not medieval England. A wall ain't gonna do shit. Nobody cares about no damn wall. We have helicopters. We have boats. What good is a wall gonna do? It's all a publicity stunt. That's what's so frustrating. There's a real problem with, you know, drugs and all that. Why don't they spend that money on that? For World War III. Everybody keeps saying it's for the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, Aiden, that's what I'm saying. Get better ground penetrating radar. They've got some, but it only reaches so far down. So what can the cartel do? Dig deeper. That's all they gotta do. Seismic sensors. Okay, well, that only works to a point because, you know, an escaped ostrich. There's studies that have been done where ostrich farms down near the border where ostriches have escaped and have run down along the border have triggered those seismic sensors. And they send like a swarm of Border Patrol agents, helicopters, cars, you name it, to go after a damn ostrich. So it's kind of like, you know, with all that $500 million, they could put a hell of a lot more cameras and people to man those cameras and watch them along the border. You know, it just makes no sense to me. You know, it doesn't. With the way technology is these days, tunnels can be dug deeper. They make submarines now. The cartels have made submarines that have been found in Florida in the Everglades after they've already made it to American soil. The cartel members are long gone. The drugs are long gone. So they just find this, this homemade submarine that has been ditched. They don't care about it anymore. They made it here. Hundreds of millions of dollars of drugs just made it through. So, the money should be spent on things that actually matter. Like Border Patrol agents on the border. I see so many videos, and I check every day, and I look at the new videos that get posted, and I do a search, for Border Patrol, for border videos, all that. There's more and more videos coming out daily of people that are getting fed up with the Border Patrol agents on the inland border checkpoints. Yeah, you're right, Freedom News. You're absolutely right. That's a perfect example right there. I mean, you cannot get within binoculars distance of Area 51 without them knowing you're watching. So why can't they stop illegals from flooding in or drugs from flooding in? That's a really good comparison, man. Oh, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know, Invictus. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty far inland, too. So, I mean, the sheer level of technology they have now that they can bypass a wall with. Yeah, you're right, We the People. They don't even need an operator anymore. If you get somebody that's good at writing software, you can program a drone. Alright, Eric, thanks for stopping in. But it's not that hard to program a drone. So you can program a drone, and they got drones that are strong enough to carry good 10, 20 kilos. Program it to just fly at a certain height and shape it right so that radar signals are absorbed, and there you go. Yeah, you're right, Steve. It's nothing more than a prop. It was a publicity stunt. Hey, Urban Gypsy. It was an election tool is what it was, because everybody knows the wall makes no damn sense. It wouldn't stop anything. I mean, if it was the 1600s, then yeah, okay, build a wall. But ain't gonna do no good now. And they get smart too. Okay, so say they beef up the security on the Mexican border. Okay, great. They're just gonna send drugs in other ways. They'll come in from Canada. They'll come in from the UK, from countries that we have good relations with. So their shipping containers aren't searched as thoroughly. Well, Freedom News now, it'd be a poor job of keeping people in. I mean, they would need to surround the entire country for that to be remotely effective. I would think this would be a big topic that people would want to be talking about, but I guess not. Huh. Oh well, it interests me. That's what counts. I've been trying to do videos and whatnot to try to bring more attention to the fact that those checkpoints are so useless. I mean, the government that maintains those checkpoints has decided they're useless. Hey, MC Veteran. I mean, it's an important topic. It's something that needs to be addressed. There's, not enough information out there. I don't remember if it was on National Geographic or one of them stations. There's a group of people now that go to these inland checkpoints, and they basically sit there with signs that they're silent. They don't cause a problem, but they just have like demonstration signs and picket signs saying these are unconstitutional, blah blah blah. And these people were getting arrested just for sitting there with these signs, and they weren't even like within. I think they were like 300 feet away, and they were being charged with interfering. Hey, Comanina. Yeah, you're right, James Barnes. They are. There are a lot of really bad decisions, and this is one of them. I mean, how can they sit there and say that just because you exercise your Fifth Amendment right, that it's okay to violate your Fourth Amendment right? How does that make sense? Yeah, Freedom News Now. Yeah, I talk to News Now Houston a lot. And I was telling him, if I ever get the chance to go down to Texas, one of these things I'd like to do is go to a border checkpoint. I'd like to see how they react to me. I mean, I'm not... I guess I look American enough. Be interesting to see how they react. And with like David, by now they know him. They know who he is. They know he's an activist. So it's like as soon as he comes, they know. Okay, well, there's this guy again. Same with James Freeman. If you watch the one where James Freeman crawled into the back of the truck and laid down, they knew exactly who he was. But they still made him sit there for 20 minutes. And then they let him go. He never answered the question or nothing. They just let him go. They didn't search his vehicle, nothing. So, it was like, what was the point of that? You think about that. Think about how much money that just cost. The lane was shut down. They put their spike strips around his truck. And the personnel that was used during that stop. Add all that up. How much money was wasted just to have him sit there for 20, 25 minutes? And then if you notice, while he's sitting in that lane, the other lane, they weren't even stopping people. They were waving him through. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I was watching that. They were just waving people through. So how can anybody think that that makes sense? James, it would be interesting to see if somebody actually tried that. Because you know exactly what would happen. They would turn around and arrest the citizen. They would make up some crime and arrest the citizen. Oh, great. Snowing more. Well, James, I guess you know. Yeah. You need to take up a fundraiser. Send James down to arrest BPA. Don, I don't know, man. It's a slow stream today. I don't have my normal numbers, but you know what? It's okay. Those of you that are here is fine. Yeah, cool for you, Urban, man. I'm sick of snow. I've been dealing with it my whole life, man. I'm so over snow. I can live with the cold, but I'm sick of the snow. Oh, well, that would explain it. Yeah, right, Invictus? Carolyn, we were talking about inland border checkpoints, but yeah, I know. I mean, I normally got 75 to 100 people here, but interesting. There's no chat in his live stream. Oh, he must have killed it. Yeah, he killed his live stream. Well, hopefully. Of course, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, be sure to. Yeah, I would love to, Ed. Especially because I still gotta finish up the ramp yet. And they're really not ready for snow. Not ready at all. Yeah, Tay, hey, I didn't know Big Nick was live. Yeah, of course, I didn't get the notification. Yeah, well, Carolyn, that's what we were talking about. What they're allowed to do versus what they actually do. Vandra. Well, see, the other thing is, it's not just that they don't know it, it's that most people, the vast majority of people, don't want to risk being arrested. That's the big issue. Yeah, DA, I would have been there too, but I didn't get the notification. Big Nick knows I'm always there when he's live, but nothing, I didn't get any kind of notification he was live. No, Don, I can't. Too many copyright issues. Yeah, I know, Victor, that's just it. Most people don't want to risk that. See, I try not to go live when other people are live, but he's not live anymore, Victor. It would be right at the top of the list. He's not. Invictus, I did the whole unsub, resub, bell ringing, the whole bit. Hey, Strike Team man, how's it going? How's things over there? Okay, Blondra, I apologize. I usually go by the far right word. Oh no, I know, Taylor. I was talking about again. Because Vondra said he's live, but he's not anymore. Oh, that sucks, Strike Team. Well, you know, I don't have an issue with the actual border. I don't have an issue with them running dogs around a car. I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is the inland American soil checkpoints that accomplish nothing. Their percentage of success is so incredibly low that it's an insane waste of taxpayer money. Every single citizen that pays taxes should be mad at this. A bare minimum of $500 million a year spent on inland border checkpoints. That's what I have an issue with. You know, Tay, surprisingly, I've had a lot of responses on my videos on it of people that don't mind them. They think they're okay. They get mad because we post videos about it. And it's not just trolls, just regular people who just think that, they're no big deal. Freedom News Now, most are within 50 miles. They're only allowed to be up to 100 miles away. That's what the law says. But most of them are within 50 miles. And it's only on the Mexican border. It's not on the Canadian border. Yeah, I know. Here too, man. Snowing here. Hey, EKA. Well, yeah. I see that. I know that, Tay. But that's true of most Arabic countries and things like, most countries on that part of the world. Even most Asian countries. Yeah, there you go, Free Dog. Exactly. It's funny, every time I go live, I lose subscribers. How does that work? Of course, everybody's about to go to Eric Brandt now. So... Tay. He still hasn't texted me. Yeah, I know. The thumbnail's just like him in a car or something. Yeah, it trips my mind, Freedom News. I mean, it really does. Every time I live stream, I actually lose subs. It's hilarious. But usually by the end of the day, I recoup the number anyways. I just don't get why. I'm a stickler for wanting to understand, you know, what people like versus what they don't like. Well, DA, I haven't heard anything about that, no. Yeah, well, Ladybird, I'm not sure how Israel is about that. I know it's a bit more peaceful than most of the other countries on that part of the world. Yeah, Tay, I say the same thing. But there really is a lot of people. I'm not worried about it. I'm curious why. I'm just a stickler for the why. I like to know the why. Just like with my videos, I always tell people, let me know what you don't like. I can't learn to make better videos if I don't know what I'm doing that they don't like. Well, that would put me in a border zone then, because Lake Ontario is not 300 miles across. So, that would put me within the Canadian border zone. Oh, they do, Invictus. Ask Tay. One day I was sitting here, and I refreshed my phone, and all of a sudden, I was down by like 47 subs. And I'm like, what the hell? This is right after I crossed the 1,000 mark. I mean, all of a sudden, it's like 47 were gone. I was, what the hell? So I'm texting Tay going, holy crap, did you just lose a bunch of subs? But that was something YouTube did, and then by the end of the day, it was all back. But I do know that they do sweep out, you know, dead accounts and things. 30 degrees. Oh, it went up by 2. Yep, down. I'll get right on it. This damn camera doesn't stay where I put it. Hello, Dylan. Welcome to the stream. Just shooting the breeze about inland border checkpoints. Feel free to chime in. Ed. And see, I just, you know, most of my life I wrote software, so it was always based on user input. Did they like the software? What did they think needed to be improved? Blah blah blah. So, I guess I think of my videos the way I do my software. It's always, okay, what do the users think? You know, what would make version 2 better? West Texas Truth. Are you just being silly, or are you being honest? I'm not trying to rip on you. I'm curious. I mean, I don't think being a Texan has anything to do with it. Every Texan I know doesn't want the checkpoints. Okay, why? Seriously, why? Why would you want something that wastes tax dollars and does not catch a bunch of illegals or contraband or anything like that? All they achieve is wasting taxpayer money and wasting people's time. Hey, Knuckin. What does that have to do with anything, West Texas? West Texas, look at the numbers. Seriously. Look at the Government Accountability Office report. They catch less than 5% of illegal people and less than 3% of contraband. So how are they making a difference? I'm not trying to rip on you, I'm just being honest. Every other Texan in this channel disagrees with you. They're not trying to rip on you, but they disagree with you. Exactly, John Doe. That's what I say. Take all them resources and put them on the actual border. West Texan, come here. You know, you think I don't have a lot of immigrants here? Texas is not the only one that gets a lot of immigrants. But the fact is, those checkpoints catch pathetically little illegal contraband and people. Like, pathetically little. I could see if they were catching a larger percentage of the overall illegal immigrants and illegal contraband. I can see that. Then, yeah, it would make sense. But they don't. Free Dog, he's not necessarily a copsucker just because he agrees with checkpoints. West Texas, I'm dealing with a lot of illegal farmers, illegal gangs, illegal drugs. That's not the point. The point is those inland border checkpoints on American soil are achieving nothing. That's my point. They achieve nothing. If they caught a large percentage, then yeah, it would make sense. But they don't. Look at the numbers. Well, Buterin / Zyban did absolutely nothing for me. at all. Skyhawk. West Texas. The point is, these checkpoints, look at what they do. Look at the corruption that's involved. And like I said, look at the numbers. Exactly, Steve. But they don't deter others. That's the point. When you have something, hey, mystery, that goes against the very foundation of this country and the Bill of Rights, how does it make sense to leave it there on American soil? Wouldn't it make more sense to take all of those resources and that $500 million or more and put it on the actual border? I have no problem with them wanting to do a good job. What I have a problem with is them violating people's rights and wasting an insane amount of money. West Texas Highway Patrol is not out there violating people's rights every single day. And when they do violate their rights, they have to answer for it. The Border Patrol agents get away with dragging people out of their cars, smashing windows, all because you don't want to, and you don't have to answer their question. You know, look at the oh my God, Pastor Anderson case. West Texas, I see them all the time. I see alcohol checkpoints, things like that all the time. But what does that have to do with anything? I don't agree with the ones that smash people's windows and search cars illegally and all that. Absolutely not. I don't agree with them at all. I don't care what their title is, whether they're Border Patrol, Highway Patrol, City Cops, whatever. West Texas, how is that any different? Are you serious? Those checkpoints are there day in and day out. People, American citizens that live within that border zone, have to cross those checkpoints every day. Every day they get harassed. Every day they have to leave for work 3 or 4 hours early sometimes. How in the hell does that make sense? All that just so that those checkpoints can catch less than 3% of contraband that crosses all the borders? I mean, how does that make sense to you? I'm not seeing your logic here. I don't know how any American citizen could agree with people's rights being violated on American soil. West Texas, just because you haven't, doesn't mean that's the way it is for everybody all the time. All you have to do is type in border checkpoint videos on YouTube and you'll find thousands of instances of people being harassed, people being illegally searched, people's Fifth Amendment rights being violated, Fourth Amendment rights being violated, First Amendment rights being violated. The evidence is there. The government's own accountability office said that those checkpoints are useless. Yes, exactly, Invictus. There are some people that have spent hours at those checkpoints just waiting in line. That wasn't even with them, just the people ahead of them. People are harassed when they try to make something worthy of posting on YouTube. That makes no sense. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Yeah, Carolyn, but at the same time, to me, DW checkpoints make more sense than inland border checkpoints. I may not agree with everything they do, but, you know, they do catch a lot of drunk drivers, they catch a lot of people with warrants, all that. If the inland border checkpoints was catching a bunch of drugs and a bunch of illegals in it, then okay, great. But they don't. That's my point. Well, yeah, DA, but the Pastor Anderson case is a big reason why they've gotten better. Like I said, if those inland border checkpoints were actually doing their job, okay. But all you have to do is look up the government's own information on them. Nobody, well, you know, I just don't get it. You're the first person I've ever talked to in Texas that has no problem with unconstitutional checkpoints. I mean, one of these guys, I posted his video, goes through it daily. He told me all about what he has to go through. Okay, now you're just trying to start arguments because that doesn't make any sense. If they were on the border, then great, yeah, put the checkpoints. It makes no sense to have an inland border checkpoint on American soil. Yeah, Invictus, he's very good at that. I'll agree with you there. Steve definitely, he's a great source of knowledge. And a great Texan. Yep, EKA. I know. That's what Steve was saying, just talking about, was that kind of stuff. Okay, Freedom News. Well, last I checked, there was 35 checkpoints. Inland checkpoints. And every single one of them need to go. No, I'm not saying that at all, Ed. What I'm saying is they catch so few. How does that validate they're violating people's rights? That's my point. How can you justify violating what amounts to millions of people's rights a year for the sake of a few? You can't say, oh, they might catch somebody that might kill someone, or might steal a car, or they might deal drugs someday. I mean, this is not... What is that movie called? The one where they could see crimes in the future, whatever it was called. This is not that. We can't judge these people on what they might do. Yeah, DA, you're right. That's not protecting our borders, man. That is not protecting our borders. Get that through your head. Those checkpoints are on American soil, not a border. They are not protecting our rights. They are not protecting American soil. They are not doing any of that. It is on American soil. So that means that that's already there. By your statements, we should have a border checkpoint on every street and every highway and every alley in the entire country, because it might catch somebody. Yes, thank you, Mystery. Oh, and Slim. But you cannot say it's okay to violate millions of people's rights because they might catch somebody that's already on American soil, that can cry for asylum because they're already here. I mean, it's just, you can't do that. John Doe, it's less than an hour's walk to bypass an inland checkpoint, if people really wanted to. All the checkpoints are known. Even the mobile checkpoints have been in the same spots for so long, they're considered stationary. So people already know where those checkpoints are. So all they gotta do is pick an alley or somebody's backyard or whatever to walk through. Well, Skyhawk, you know what? I wish he was. Because we never get to talk to those actual people because they're too afraid to come into our chats. Or at least they're too afraid to identify themselves. They don't want to be proven wrong. But all the numbers are there. The information is there. They don't serve any purpose other than to violate people's rights and waste people's time and waste tax money. Yep, you're right, Lady Bird. And when it came down to it, hey, Chi-Town, I don't answer questions. Yeah, well, that's why I'm not just assuming he's a troll and kicking him out of here. Because I genuinely wanted to hear somebody else's perspective on it and why they agree with it. Carolyn just couldn't resist it, huh? Okay, what the hell is that icon you're trying to post, Chi-Town? It's showing up as just a square on my screen. What am I missing? West Texas Truth. It doesn't matter. The point is, by going by what you say, we would have to literally put one of those checkpoints on every street, every alley, every highway, everything in the entire country. Because it might catch somebody. Might. Big might. Because all they do is say, are you an American citizen? So as long as they hire somebody that's white to drive and they speak clear English, they'll get right through. He's flipping you off, Tay? Dang it, Chi-Town. All I see is a square. I know, Mystery. I was wondering what emoji he was trying to post. Joshua Haynes does that too. He uses some that show up as just squares on my screen. Oh. So it's just a different form of giving. It's a smaller hand or something, I guess. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. A lot of people, I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, because I know, I firmly believe on the whole, this country was built on the backs of immigrants. We all know that, or at least you should know that. So, I'm all for legal immigration. I don't see a problem with that. The problem is the government makes it way too difficult for legal immigration. So, and it takes so long that a lot of immigrants don't want to go that route. Well, it's like I say about the military thing. You know, for the cost of a couple F-22 Raptors, they could completely eliminate homelessness in this country. Like literally, completely eliminated. Building shelters, building training programs, helping people get jobs. All that just for the cost of a couple fighter jets. But no, they'd rather have the fighter jets. Let's stick them in the desert in Arizona with the other 10,000 fighter jets we're not using. Just in case. I got into a debate last year with this, not even a debate, it was a straight up argument with this lady that lives over here last summer. She tried to argue with me and telling me that there was 51 states, that Puerto Rico was a state. Yeah, West Texas, that would all be part of the money that I'm talking about. Right now, they make it too hard for people to get off drugs. They make it too hard for people to get mental health. Big part of it is the cost. People can't afford to go to Suboxone clinics. They can't afford to go to alcohol rehab. They can't afford to get help with their bipolar disorder or their schizophrenia or whatever. It's just the reality is they make it too hard. It's where I live. There's every single Suboxone clinic within I'd say 50 miles of where I live is so overflowing with patients that there's 7, 8 to up to, I've heard in some places, 20-week waiting lists to see a Suboxone doctor. That's just insane. If free dog, my point is, if we helped people help themselves, more people would be working. The economy would be better. I'm not saying give everybody money and cure them and pay for them for the rest of their lives. I'm saying help people get on their feet. All this money that we waste on, well, I don't mean to sound mean, but on other countries. All that money should be spent here, helping American citizens get to a point where they can work and pay taxes and buy goods. Everybody would be doing better. Look at Singapore. This is exactly what Singapore did. Singapore abolished homelessness. They decided one year that enough was enough. They used to be a filthy country. The whole country was covered in garbage and homelessness. It was really bad. Finally, the government said enough's enough. They stepped in, got rid of all homelessness, gave everybody a place to live, got everybody healthy. There is no opioid epidemic, Invictus. But at any rate, they got rid of all that. And guess what happened? Big companies started moving to Singapore. Started hiring more Singapore citizens. I don't know what they're called. Singaporeans or whatever. But you look at that country now, it's the most prosperous country Oh my God. Prosperous country in the world. I can't talk today. There's no homelessness. There's no garbage on the streets. You don't even see a cigarette butt on the ground. I mean, they cleaned up all the rivers. They did everything. It's the cleanest country in the world now. Free dog. Because the government stopped spending the money on everything else. The government decided it didn't need to care about the military anymore. You know, they had enough ships. They had enough soldiers. They had enough guns. They had enough jets. They decided, let's take that money and spend it on the country instead. Which one is that, DA? I need to find it. The whole opioid epidemic bullshit is just, that's something that media made up. There was no opioid epidemic until they cried opioid epidemic. Then all of a sudden doctors started turning patients away, didn't want to help patients anymore. So patients start turning to the streets. They started it. Invictus. See that? I know exactly what it's like. See that? I know exactly what it's like. The fact is, there was no... You can't quit making that. That would be dumb. You can't stop making pain medicine. I'm not letting them off the hook, Ladybird. My point is that there was no massive opioid epidemic until the media cried opioid epidemic. Yeah, there was people that abused it. There's always going to be people that abuse things. Always. But it was nothing like what they said in the news. That didn't happen until doctors started turning people away and kicking them to the streets. Yeah, Invictus now. Yes, now. There was no issue before. None at all. Free dog. People got... How do you think they made it? They suffered. So people should have to suffer? Yes, Anonymous, it did happen. There were people that abused it. Like I said, there will always be people that abuse things. That doesn't mean we should get rid of it all. I mean, there's plenty of people that got kicked out of pain clinics that never screwed up, never abused their pills, never did anything wrong. But the doctors got so afraid of writing pain medicine that they got kicked out of the pain clinics. So what are they going to do? They don't want to be in pain all the time. So their options are jump off a bridge or find another way to deal with the pain. Wimps. Okay, dude, I've had a spine surgery. I've broken most of my bones. I've had 5 heart attacks. I mean, I've got diabetes. I've got severe neuropathy. I'm a wimp. Just because I don't want to have to spend every single day, all day, laying in bed in pain so bad I can't do anything. And yes, DA is right. Side effects of Tylenol and ibuprofen, bleeding ulcers, all those things kill more people. Yeah, free dog, try being in my shoes, then talk about manning up. Try going through what I've been through. You ever tried to pass a 7.5mm stone? Let me know how you do. Mystery, without my medications, I would be dead right now. Kratom didn't do crap for me, dude. Yeah, some people say it worked for them. There's plenty of people it didn't do anything for. Mystery, look at those guys out there who eat nothing but pure organic. There's that one celebrity fitness trainer. Did nothing but eat organic, healthy foods. He was in perfect shape. Perfect. Had a heart attack. Without medications, now he'd be dead. I understand what you're saying. I know there are a lot of medications that people get dependent on. All that, I get it. But you got people in my situation, without my blood thinners, without my heart medicines, without that, I would be dead. Again. Yeah, I know. I've read all this stuff. I know. Yeah, exactly. Try pain that is not temper. Exactly. Yes, free dog, that's exactly true. But you know what? There's a compromise. There are ways of, you don't have to be completely out of pain. But, you know what? Taking the edge off of it makes a whole hell of a difference. What, Steve? Guess not what? Mystery. I'm all for legal or natural. Morphine comes straight from the opium poppy. It's all natural. So is codeine. I don't know, Tay. Somehow I got dragged onto that. Invictus, my point was it was nothing like it is now until the media got in on it. Okay, Steve. Trust me, Invictus, I was there, man, at the street level, in jail. I know all about it. Either way, you know, to each their own on it. That's just one of those topics that you're going to have heated debates about. Everybody's got, you know, they're entitled to their own opinion. West Texas truth. Look at the reality of it, okay? The probability, you got like a, I forgot what the statistic was. It was something like a 96% chance of driving through an inland border checkpoint with a truck full of drugs if you're white and speak clear English. So, how is that benefiting people? You think cartels aren't smart enough to just hire white people to drive the truck? I mean, seriously. Oh, DMC, you going to a checkpoint? Bringing some stuff? But that's the reality of it. That's the truth of it. Statistically, like 96% chance you'll make it through an inland border checkpoint without being searched if you're white and speak clear English. Yeah, well, an honest Miss Farm, there's always going to be a way. Always. All inland border checkpoints do is interfere with people's daily commute. That's all they do. That and waste money. And there is no denying that. That is just absolute fact. So, I don't care what West Texas Truth says. The facts are facts. You can't deny it. They don't do anything. They don't achieve anything. Yeah, it's been doing that all day here, Aiden. Well, Tay, tell me if he goes live. I mean, I've already been up for an hour and a half. I wasn't going to keep this live much longer, but I don't get the damn notifications. No matter what I do. Because Big Nick knows I want to be there. He needs whatever I can do. Bow. What's up, man? Yeah, if anybody, just in case you haven't noticed, up here, all goes to finish the ramp fund. Especially now that it's snowing. This wasn't expecting this. Was hoping it would hold off for a few more weeks. We just need to make Bao the governor of Texas. James Barnes. You couldn't resist, could you? Crash with Bao. I could just see Bao in the governor's seat. Big Ripper. Big Ripper in the governor's chair. I know, James. It's still funny. Hey, Jen. Hey, Tammy. Yeah, well, like I said, that kratom stuff didn't work. So, it's different for everybody, because I've heard a lot of people say it was wonderful, and I've heard a lot of people say it was garbage. So, everybody's different. But same thing with me. I mean, since 2004. Exactly, DA. Oh. You know what the government needs to do? They need to give away grip tape. There we go. Wow, he's been there for a while. That was Tammy C. A while back, he did a rant on hemming, and they hammered his Tammy C channel. That was months ago. You know, people can say what they want. I get it. I understand the whole big pharma thing. But the reality is, I have medications that I need. So, there is no natural substitute for them. No, Bao, it was before you went in jail. He did the Tammy Lin in the early Leon Valley days. Alright, Skyhawk. See you later, man. Yep, Tammy C's been around a while now. I'd say at least 7 or 8 months. Well, Carolyn, that's not exactly true. Marijuana is a very small part of what cartels do. Yep, as long as there's always something out there, some substance for people to enjoy, people will find a way to extort it. I remember watching that rant, Tammy. It was entertaining. Yep. There's a movie called is it Necropolis? It might be Necropolis, something like that. But it's like, you know, the world. What would the world be like if all drugs were legalized? And, you know, controlled by corporations? I'm hoping to get some videos done soon. I got a couple more spotlight videos lined up for you guys with some very, very good auditors to spotlight on. So, as long as they, you know, we get to get together and get the work done. There was a couple of people I'm still waiting for resolutions on cases before I can finish their videos, but there's a couple of people I'm just waiting for them to have a spare moment where I can do what needs to get done. Free Dog, that's just messed up, man. It's funny, but messed up. If you guys haven't already subscribe, of course, but have all of you guys watched the News Now Houston Spotlight Part 2? Well, geez, Aiden, what are you waiting for? It took me a long time to get David tied down to where I can get him to answer some questions. Well, yeah, I know plenty of great Mexicans. I mean, hell, we got some good Mexican auditors that live in America. I mean, Tulare County, he's Mexican, does great audits. That's actually a pretty good saying, Mystery. Well, Eden, that's, you gotta put the bow down. Too much bow is not good for your health. Right, bow? Damn. Hang on, guys, my door popped open. West Texas is trying to see if he's fully hidden or not. I suggest you stop pissing Bow off. Invictus, they're blocking your video posting too? Hey, Samantha. Yeah, I don't mirror because, I mean, I was doing mirrors and stuff here and there, not a lot, but then you get people that are always, oh, all you're doing is mirroring or whatever. It gets annoying after a while. And then YouTube started cracking down on channels with a lot of mirrors. Hey, Mrs. C, how you doing? YouTube is very much against channels with a lot of mirrors. Yeah, I'm alive, Samantha. Do you make it back home, Miss C? Or Mrs. C? Sorry. Have to be appropriate. Damn, Invictus. 2 strikes, man. Sorry. I've only had 1, and I appealed it and won. So... Free dog. Savefrom.net. Just go to the video, click share, click copy link, open up Chrome, go to savefrom.net and paste in the link, and then you can click download. Then you just turn around and upload it. But I highly suggest you don't just take a video and upload it. Change it. Commentate over it, present it as news. Do something to make it fall under fair use. Because otherwise, YouTube will catch you. Oh, Invictus. Yeah, see, I had a community guideline strike. But I appealed it, and I won. Yeah, and you can't just flip it. Some people take it and just flip it flip it left to right, and they think that because that changes it. No, YouTube's algorithms are smart enough for that now. I'm sorry, Mrs. C. See, any clips I use, people should know I have full permission to use them. I never use a clip without permission. And even then, I don't just take me or people's videos and post it on my channel. Because, like I said, YouTube's cracking down on that stuff. And when, the mirrors that I do have, I make sure people know it's a mirror. It's not like I'm trying to steal their work. I put mirror in the title and everything. James. You're so colorful. Yeah, but Free Dog, don't just... Trust me, man. Don't just take people's videos and slap them on your channel. I'm telling you. You'll either run into, copyright issues, fair use issues, or you'll get content theft, and you'll get a community guideline strike. So, you have to be real careful in what you do. I always get permission, and I always credit whomever I used clips from, unless there is nobody to credit. I've used clips before that were from videos that were mirrored so many times in thousands of channels that there was no telling who the originator was. But I always note that as well. But I don't like to just take somebody's video and put it on my channel. I like to commentate over it or things like that. No, DA, Ben is just taking a break. That's all. Let the man have a break. People keep jumping all over him about it. Let the man have a break. If he doesn't want to post right now, let him not post. Let him enjoy his game. You guys got to understand, I get more emails than I could possibly keep up with. And I have a fraction of the number of subscribers that he has. Just like News Now Houston and Tom Zebra. Look at the size of their channels. You guys can't imagine the level of correspondence that happens. I cannot keep up with the emails that I get. And I have a fraction of what they have. So, I mean, people keep jumping all over Ben about it. Let him have his break. I mean, you can't blame him. All this finger-pointing, name-calling nonsense. It's unproductive. It doesn't serve any purpose. And it's not deserved. Well, DA, he's enjoying the game. Let him, his channel was originally a gaming stream. So he's just kind of going back to his roots in a way. The difference is he's got, 150,000 subscribers now versus, 5. But people just keep jumping all over it. I get so many emails about it. Well, Mrs. C, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta break that rule. I've lost it many times. West, you know what? There's always going to be people say, I've heard the same thing. You know what? Who cares? Honestly. Who cares? I mean, seriously. Even if he did buy subscribers, which I don't understand that, but whatever. Even if he did, who cares? It shows it has no effect on you and your channel. I mean, seriously, what does it matter? It doesn't affect my channel at all. I've scraped and struggled for every subscriber I have. Yeah, I've had some people say, go check out Brian's channel, but that doesn't force people to subscribe. They subscribe because they like what they saw after coming here. You know, I got that too. People are like, oh, you got somebody advertising your channel. So what? Who cares if they advertise on my channel? What matters is that once the people came here, they liked what they saw. People don't subscribe just because somebody else told them to. Bow. I mean, I've been a subscriber to Bow since he had just like 100 or whatever it was. I mean, his channel was tiny. He had just started it. But I always enjoyed the content, so I continue to subscribe. And I continue to say, hey, go check out Bow's channel. Same thing for Ben's, for News Now Houston's, for I go check them out. Uh-oh. A Warren, huh? That bad? EKA. Hey, Michelle. Apparently I have rosy cheeks. And here I thought it was the beard. Well, yeah, Samantha, I mean, I do feel that way. You know, I've scraped for every subscriber I have. I lose subscribers, I gain subscribers all the time. I have some days where I lose 10, other days I gain 20. I mean, it's just the way it is. Oh, wow, Missy. Wow. I didn't know you were capable of that. I like you even more now. Well, thank you, Mystery. I appreciate that. Yes. It's all turning gray now. Tay was one of my, like, first probably 20 subscribers or 15 subscribers. She's been with me since the very beginning. Well, Miss C, I mean, you can always run your name through the system. James Barnes, yeah, I saw him last night. Or yesterday. It was either yesterday or last night. Well, thank you, Samantha. I appreciate that. I tried to be. I'll never forget that day I got on Sasquatch's stream and he had clean shaven. It's like, what the heck happened? Well, then, Missy, you're probably fine. I mean, if one hasn't been issued by now. I got some on my bread. What I like is getting subscribers because they like what I do, you know, or I even appreciate the people that don't like what I do. You know, when they tell me, oh, well, I don't like this part of your video because it was too flashy or whatever. You know, that's why my videos have evolved, because I've learned. Where are you going, Tay? Well, meth is more addictive than crack. Crack ain't really that addictive. It has like a 1 hour withdrawal. James Barnes. That's what I always liked about you, man. Never held it back. I'll never forget the first time I saw Joshua Haynes. I was like, no way, that can't be him. Big old biker looking dude. Well, mister, I'm talking about overall. Not just you personally. I know many crack users. All throughout my life. I mean, you gotta remember, I grew up in the inner city and that. It was very common. Meth is one of those things. Meth is actually physically addicting. Crack is like, you know, after... I mean, the first hour or two after you run out, you know, they go nuts. But after that, they're fine. Meth has an actual physical withdrawal. It's alright, Missy. I'm not going to be up a whole lot longer. You know, it was a small stream today, so... But it was nice to talk about some stuff other than crap. Yeah, I mean, I've tried most things. I never tried ecstasy and I never tried meth. Never wanted to. One thing I think I'm going to do, though, I was talking to Pink Camera Magic the other night, and we were just kind of shooting the breeze and tossing around ideas about what I could do with my channel. And one of the things I think I'm going to do is re-release some of my older videos. Things that I released back when I only had, you know, 400 or 500 subscribers. And, you know, they don't even really show up in the lists anymore. You don't even see them unless you go through all of my playlists. So, yes, Aiden, it actually is the worst drug. Alcohol has the worst withdrawal of it all. But if some of you guys see videos being released that you've already seen, I apologize. But, I want to re-release them now that I have a higher subscriber base, and hopefully, more people will enjoy them. I'm also trying to work on some surprises with my old videos, revamping them a little bit and adding to them. So hopefully that works out well. I'm still waiting to hear from a couple people on that. Well, Aiden, I mean, I could honestly, I know it's hard. The best thing, is to have people to help, people to talk to. Hey, Michigan. Yeah, Michigan Mister is like one of the 2 or 3 people that are the main reasons why I even came to this side of the fence. Well, I don't care about that, DA. Really don't. Not at all. But Michigan Mister was like around when I was still anti-auditing, when people weren't answering my questions and whatnot, and I was still very bitter. Michigan Mister was one of the people that said, hey, why don't you come hang out in some live streams and check out what it's really about? And he was like one of my first 2 or 3 subscribers. Him and Denise Lynn and Tay Lynn. Yeah, Aiden, I get that, man. Like I said, I'm on Suboxone myself, but, that's not for drinking, but without it, I'd be going nuts. The nice thing about Suboxone is it's an antagonist and, it's an agonist and an antagonist. So, yeah, cigarettes is definitely hard to quit. I mean, I admit it. I've tried to quit. I've tried the patch. I've tried Zyban, aka Wellbutrin. I've tried hypnosis. I can't take Chantix because it conflicts with some of my heart medicine. Well, DA, no, I want to know if Big Nick and them do, but I don't care about the one you mentioned. Michelle, no, Suboxone is not for alcohol. It's for opiates. Suboxone won't help with alcohol. They usually give Librium for that. Librium really helps. Like when you're in jail, if you tell them you're a severe alcoholic, one of the things they give you is Librium, and it helps. It helps with the shakes, and it helps with sleep deprivation. It knocks them out. Like when you're in jail, they give you Librium. You sleep the first week away. But they don't help with freaking opiates in jail. Here. I know in other areas they do, but here they don't. New York State. When you go to jail on opiates, they just basically they give you Tylenol and anti-diarrhea pills and stick you in medical for the first week or 2, and you just go nuts. And last time I was in jail with 6 other men, full-grown men. We were all in what was called the fish tank, which is a big giant cell with glass walls. And it was in the medical area, and everybody was going through opiate withdrawal, painkillers, heroin, whatever. And they stuck all 7 of us in this cell with one toilet. And it was in, it was basically the same as being in the hole. 23 and 1. You know, you get 23 hours in the cell, 1 hour out. And we all sat there, 7 full-grown men, sweating like pigs, shaking, can't sleep, diarrhea, throwing up, you name it. All in this one cell. Imagine what that smelled like. And they didn't care. They didn't. They just shoved us in this cell and left us there. They gave us Imodium and Tylenol. And that was it. Over in the UK and that, they give either methadone or Suboxone. See, like I said, Kratom didn't do nothing. Nothing. Not a damn thing. I wish it did. Nothing. Yeah, it was, Aiden. See, that's why you gotta say, even if you're not an alcoholic, you gotta say you are. Just so they'll give you Librium, so you can at least try to get some sleep. But it was horrible. I mean, it was just, it smelled so bad. And we were all, like, literally, that toilet was flushing, like, non-stop, 24/7. You'd run to the toilet, and you'd have to go as quick as you could, because the next guy had to go. And then you'd get a chance to shower once a week, because the line was so damn long. You know, there was only 2 showers, and there'd be 100 people waiting to use that shower. The jail I did an audit on is the jail I was in. So that made it, you know, it was kind of like, what's the word? It was very satisfying, you know, to be at the outside, just filming me and Bullet together. Yes, Bow, they are bad. But Suboxone, to me, they need to make that shit over the counter. Like, seriously. I mean, it's got an opiate in it, and it does help with pain. But it also stops withdrawals completely. Don Stan, just go look in my Audits by Me playlist. Unfortunately, I can't do any more until I'm off of probation, but I don't know what I'm going to do now. I mean, losing Bullet, man. No, Michelle. You can't smoke in New York State jails. You can smoke in some of the prisons, but you can't smoke in any of the jails. People snuck, you know, they smuggled in tobacco and that, but it would cost you, you know, $10 in snacks and stuff and whatever. Just, you'd have to put money on their books or whatever just to get one cigarette. Which is kind of stupid, because you think about how much money they were making off of tobacco sales to prisoners. Like, one pouch of top tobacco, which normally costs you like $3 or $4 in the local store, they were selling for like $15 in the jail. The Supreme Super God, huh? Interesting name. I don't know if he's in here or if he's subscribed just from outside, but Aiden, yeah, I've tried that. Not fun for me. I never had much luck with hallucinogens of any kind, really. Mystery, yeah, I know about the wild lettuce stuff. It's actually like a breed of dandelion. Yeah, I was all excited when I found that until I tried it. All it did was make me sick. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I was surprised, like I said, I don't care about that one. He tried it under the Tammy C name. I haven't seen that name in forever. Damn, he tried like 5 times. Holy crap. No, he didn't try to text me. He tried to go live. Like 5 times, or 4 or 5 times. Okay, well, since everybody's kind of spread out and doing their own thing, and you know, this has been up for 2 hours and 17 minutes. Well, my meds are here anyways, guys, so I need to go answer the door. But, thanks for everybody stopping in, and, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.